works. I just dress like
Holly Hobby?
all the damn rags that I could find.
Holly Hobby? That's adorable.
You bought me this dress
Yeah, I like this
when we
one.
lived in the little apartment.
Right? I like this.
Yeah, I do too. I catch it on every damn thing.
I love these things. And not many women look good at them. You pull it off well.
Because I'm a goddamn gypsy draped in a fucking bedsheet.
Yeah. I'm trying to get in that bed sheet and roll around like two sweaty pigs. But
Chloe. We gotta get you in this.
yeah,
We should go eat after this because I'm dying.
me too.
Okay.
Here, all I had is like a hush puppy.
Hush, puppy. Did you set the alarm? I didn't feed anybody this morning except Ringo and Matilda. Oh, of course he was.
Hello again. Before we do the covenant, I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that I'm doing a 3-time class on happiness, and it starts next Sunday at 2. Alice is the guru that is in charge of all of the organization and communication, so please reach out to her if you have any questions or needs. But I hope, I just want to make sure everyone knew about it, and I hope whoever feels they would benefit will be there. Now on to our covenant. We do not have a creed. We don't have a particular belief system or dogma that everyone agrees to. Instead, we have a promise that we've made to one another from our hearts. And every week, we work to renew this promise within our own hearts and to one another. So please join me as we read our covenant. Together, we are a people of faith and hope. Together, we covenant to strive to become our better selves, to honor both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to respond to systems of violence and oppression with the power of a love beyond belief. Such a beautiful promise. Now will come the time where we do 2 things. The first is our rippling bowl, our beautiful, sacred ritual where we commune, where we share our joys and we share our sorrows, where we turn them over to the loving care of this community. As you are called to, please come to drop a shell or a stone in the rippling bowl, to give over whatever it is you need to get over. And I will put one in for the people who are watching us virtually, one for the joys and one for the sorrows of all of you that are watching virtually. So feel free to energetically send those to me, and I'll put your stone in there for you. While we're up, we'll also be doing the offering. We are a living, breathing organism, and as such, we have to be fed and nurtured in order to grow and thrive. This month, we are doing Share the Plate with an organization. I had their information pulled up. There we go. With an organization called BRUH, or BRUH, I guess you say BRUH. It's BRUH, which actually stands for Brothers Restoring Urban Hope. Is a nonprofit mentoring-based organization that was founded in 2005 by 2 University of South Carolina upstate students, Antonio Boyd and Victor Dura Jr. They noticed that a number of the high school students they were working with lacked a positive racial identity, soft skills, and the social capital that is essential to success in this world. Thus, BRUH was formed to create a community-based and volunteer-led organization committed to exposing students to avenues of success regardless of socioeconomic status, family dynamics, nationality, or any past failures they may have had. Through group mentoring efforts, virtual workshops, trainings, leadership, and spiritual guidance, they encourage and equip youth to discover and develop their unique talents, achieve success in academic and social settings, hopefully helping them to rise above any circumstance that may be detrimental to their becoming a thriving, productive, engaged adult within our community. Half of all loose gifts will be split with bruh today. So please take this time and share your joys and concerns and your gifts. Thank you so much.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
And I'll be leading us in our meditation. Though I'm going to go ahead and change one word in the first portion. I was taught to say, may I, first. We were talking about ourselves. And then switch to you. So we're going to begin by expressing love for ourselves. May I be free of suffering. May I be at peace. May I know the joy of my own true nature. May I be healed. May I be the source of healing for all others. May I know love. When we then express love for those for whom we care. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love. Then we express love for those who we find difficult in small ways and in large. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love. And then finally, we express love for all beings. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love.
You think after all these months I'd know how to put the microphone on, right? May I be well. I feel so thankful for so many leaders in this congregation and the people who support those leaders. Just a sampling that we've seen in this service. Thank you all so much for helping each other. Join me in silence. What is the gift that you have to share? We spent a whole month last month talking about death, time, and mortality. And I'm sorry to tell you that we're not out of it yet. But this isn't to inflict pain or to be morbid. It's that something strange happens when we turn to face the inevitability of our death, of our finitude. We move through these cycles of time Sydney has sung about so beautifully all morning long, spiraling through time until at some point for each of us, time becomes more and more compressed, and the cycles tighten to tighter and tighter circles, the spiral becoming almost a funnel, until it arrives at a point where our time will stop. And as those circles turn, as the spiral moves in tighter and tighter circles, there's a compression, an intensification that happens, where the story of our life takes clearer and clearer shape. The meaning of our relationships and our actions becomes sharper in its outline and its content. What our lives mean, what our lives offer, becomes more and more determined. It intensifies until time runs out. And a question, not the only question, but a question that we can ask is, what will we have done with our time? We're not sure we'll be able to ask the question, what did I do with my time? What will I have done with it? And I've shared with you before, in my own thinking, and it's okay for it not to be anybody else's thinking. I'm pretty used to that, not just here, but in the universe. But in my own thinking, spiritual truth is found at paradox, where things that should not work together somehow connect. And what I have seen in my own small experience is that as life approaches its end, and whatever the cause of that end may be, as time compresses and intensifies, if we will turn to face it the best we're able, however we're able, then that very intensification, that very limitation, the lessening and lessening of time and opportunity, if we turn to face it, somehow a whole field of possibility opens up. And the choices that we make become magnified in importance. I've seen this go really badly. Times that a person has visited a dying relative, and the choice that was made was to share ugly words, mean words, harsh words. And oh man, those words stay with the person who survives for eternity. They can be a knife. I've seen it. But also, when the choices that we make are to care, or to forgive, or to love, to muster whatever there is in us that we deem good by whatever value system, and to share it, the power of that amplifies. What is the gift that you have to share? None of us know what our span of time is. We don't know where we are in the tightening spiral of our lives. We don't know what will happen in the next moment. I could stand in front of you and the next moment be on the floor. We could drive out of this parking lot and one of us never return to the parking lot. We just don't know. So as much as we may want to turn away from it, as frightening as it may be, and it's disturbing for me too. I'm not just doing this to bother you. This is for my benefit as well. As much as we're able to turn to face the reality of our finitude and to allow that compression of our lives, the inevitable ultimate ending of our lives, to charge our lives with meaning. Whether today is our last day or 500 years from now. If that's you, I would love to meet you. Right? Anything in between. If we allow that intensification to open to us this possibility of incredible meaning and impact, then whatever that ultimate end date is, we can choose now that act. We can live our lives as if this is the moment that counts and to offer our very best to the world. Because this could be it. And one day it will be. That is for sure. One day it will be. You read this poem today, read by Nephi and by Mary. It comes from a collection called Simple Verses. And the style of this poet is famous for its apparent simplicity. Just saying something very simple with language that's very clear. But somehow in that simplicity and clarity, an immense amount of meaning. It evokes so much meaning. Jose Marti was a scholar, a philosopher, a poet, and an activist for Cuban independence from the Spanish Empire. He died on the battlefield at 42. He was chased all around Spain and Latin America by the Spanish Empire, even up to New York, because he caused so much trouble with his political thinking. A person trained in the humanities and in law, who put all of that into what he understood to be the just fight for independence and freedom. And in his writing, he wrote about a unified Americas, the two continents striving together against empire, and called out U.S. imperialism as well when he was living in New York. A brave man who knew that his thoughts and actions, the meaning of his life, meant that his life might terminate at any moment. Terminate by lifelong incarceration, being deprived of contact with other people, or terminate by death in war or by execution. That was the risk that he believed he should run to actualize the meaning of his life. And so, before his last great foray to fight for Cuban independence, a foray that ended in failure initially, but that only 7 years later led to the independence of his nation from the Spanish Empire, a success he helped win but did not see. He published this collection of verses. And in it, he says, I have a gift that I want to share. I want to share these verses. I want to share these poems with you. Now, this is a guy who lived across 3 continents, wrestled with the meaning of history, and was an active agent in it. A brave and in some ways reckless man, dedicated to his cause. And he says, before I die, I want to share not my flag, not my bullets, not my political philosophy, but these verses. It seems so weak that of all the gifts he could choose to name, that would be the gift. What is the gift that you have to share? No matter how feeble it may seem, no matter how much the universe and everyone in it seems not to understand? What is that thing that when you know you face death, today or in 500 years, may it be 500, but whenever it is, that is the gift that you want to have given? Marti gave us his poems, his verses. In the context of everything else that he was trying to do, he made sure to offer us those. And a few years later, he died. It all ended. But the intensity of that gift in his life, the compression of its meaning, the simplicity of it, not many words, the basicness of it, very simple images. But nonetheless, this gift from his soul in the intensity of his compressed life opened up into possibility beyond the span of his life. These words that he wrote were put into a song that I would bet all of us have heard, whether we know it or not. A song for his nation's freedom and also for the freedom of people all over the world. A song, if we're lucky enough, we'll hear again here. At the end of this poem, he says, in this poem that I want to share, what I really want to share is my life. And that's the real question here. Whatever that thing is, whatever that act is that we have to give, that gift that we want to offer before our time ends, before we run out of time, what it's really carrying at that level of intensity is us. To give ourselves. Marti giving himself for his people and for a world that he dreamed of, that he never saw come to fruition. He says, this poem of myself, it's like a wounded deer, it seeks refuge. That's how vulnerable he is to what he's giving. He doesn't know that it will find anyone, that it will have meaning for anyone. May die alone on the mountain. But he gives it. He gives it. What is the gift of your life, the gift of yourself, that you would risk on a people who may never recognize it, on a world that may never honor it? But before you die, you will share the gift of your soul, knowing for certain that one day you will no longer be able to give that gift. And knowing for certain that that could be today, and even more likely tomorrow. And I'm sorry to say, but guaranteed in 500 years. What will you give? Our lives spiral in a tightening round. And at some point for each of us, that spiral tightens to nothingness, and we end. The paradox is where we find spiritual truth. And I offer this to you not as a statement of belief and not as anything that I want to insist on for you, and not as a statement of metaphysics. I make no claims. As a statement of observation in this world, as empirical as I'll probably ever be able to get. I have seen over and over again that when people choose to give the best of themselves to each other, to share their deepest gifts with each other, to take the moment now to give themselves when their life ends and their physical lives are through, as happens for us all. Those acts of goodness and justice and beauty and care, those acts of our very best selves, have a strange way of suddenly expanding through the world. Stories about those people move among the people who knew them and beyond. Letters that they've written and notes that they've written, scraps of life that they left behind, traces that they didn't even know were important, suddenly amplify in meaning and are passed from hand to hand through a world that they have now left. When we give our very best, when we share our deepest selves, when we offer the work of our hands not knowing that anyone will accept it, when our own lives end as they will. The paradox of our finite lives in this world, I don't speak of another, in this world, is that suddenly that gift moves in an expanding circle beyond anything we will know, but in a way in which we would rejoice if we could.
For all the saints whom from their labors rest, who thee by faith before the world confessed, thy name most holy be forever blessed. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Thou wast their rock, their shelter and their might, their strength and solace in the well-fought fight. Thou in the darkness deep, their one true light. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, blessed communion of the saints divine, we live and struggle, they in glory shine. Yet all are one in thee, for all are thine. Hallelujah, hallelujah. And when the strife is fierce, the conflict long, steals on the ear the distant triumph song. Our hearts are brave again, and arms are strong. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Once again, we'll start by letting Nephi read the verses as they were originally written. Then I will translate.
From versos sencillos. Antes de morirme, quiero echar mis versos del alma. Mi verso es de un verde claro y de un carmín encendido. Mi verso es un ciervo herido que busca en el monte amparo. Con los pobres de la tierra quiero yo mi suerte echar.
Thank you, Nephi, for letting us hear how that was originally supposed to be heard. Before dying, I want to share the verses of my soul. My verse is light green, and it is flaming red. My verse is a wounded deer who seeks refuge on the mountain. With the poor people of the earth, I want to cast my lot.
With the poor people of the earth, I want to cast my lot. I could say too, I want to share my life. To whom would you give your life?
We have spent time together in these holy moments. Give us strength to go down the winding road until we meet again. We have spent time together and these holy moments give us strength to go down the winding road until we meet again.